Welcome back. Attorney General William Barr speaking out on the Department of Justice's push to investigate the origins of the Russia probe. Let's bring in Trey Gowdy, the former chairman of the House Oversight Committee and a Fox News contributor. It is great to see you, Trey. Thanks so much for joining us.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Your reaction to what you heard from Bill Barr. Obviously, the Democrats are painting him now as being political and not being the honest broker that they said he was at the beginning.
Yeah, I don't think they like the old AG either. They're not going to like whoever replaces Bill Barr. There are a lot of serious questions that need to be asked. When did the Russia probe begin? When did it become hopelessly commingled with the Trump campaign? What was the factual predicate? Where are the transcripts, if any, exist between the informants and the telephone calls to George Papadopoulos? Why the defensive briefing so inadequate of President Trump? Why didn't you do a follow-up defensive briefing? That doesn't even get to the whole FISA story in the fall. That's just the spring and summer of 2016. There are lots of questions, and I hope Bill Barr finds someone who is skilled enough to answer them.
Yeah, I'm really glad you brought that up. The FBI agent's conversations with George Papadopoulos is because when an FBI agent sends in informants to someone they're looking at, typically those conversations are recorded, right? Those people are wired.
Yeah, I mean, if the Bureau is going to send an informant in, the informant's going to be wired. And if the Bureau is monitoring telephone calls, there's going to be a transcript of that. And some of us have been fortunate enough to know whether or not those transcripts exist, but they haven't been made public. And I think one in particular it has the potential to actually persuade people. Very little on this Russia probe, I'm afraid, is going to persuade people who hate Trump or who love Trump. But there is some information in these transcripts that I think has the potential to be a game changer if it's ever made public.
You say that's exculpatory evidence. And when people see that, they're going to say, wait, why wasn't this presented to the court earlier?
Yeah, you know, Johnny Ratcliffe is rightfully exercised over the obligations that the government has to tell the whole truth to a court when you are seeking permission to spy or do surveillance on an American. And part of that includes the responsibility of providing exculpatory information or information that tends to show the person did not do something wrong. If you have exculpatory information and you don't share it with the court, that ain't good. I've seen it. Johnny's seen it. I'd love for your viewers to see it.
All right, so that's the transcripts of FBI agents and George Papadopoulos. We're going to be on the lookout for that. Take me back to an email that Jim Comey wrote to his upper echelon staff. This is also considered classified, but you've seen it. What can you tell us about it?
Well, take a half step back. I mean, people use the word dossier, and it has such an official sound to it. I mean, let's just call it for what it is. It's a series of rank hearsay compilations put together by an FBI source who was later defrocked, paid for by the Democrat National Committee, and oh, by the way, Christopher Steele hated Donald Trump, too. So we can call it a dossier. It sounds official. It's really something the National Enquirer would blush if they printed. So we know that it was used 4 times by the United States government. What we're trying to figure out is whether or not it was used a 5th time in the intelligence assessment. And you got Brennan, Clapper, and Comey, all 3 who know full well whether or not it was used in the intelligence assessment, but they're giving you different versions.
Right.
So there is information that exists in December of 2016, and I hope anyone who has access to it, Senator Burr, Devin, whoever is open-minded, go look at that. And I think it will help you understand whether or not that dossier, that unverified hearsay, was used for 5 times or just 4 times by the United States government. It's pretty bad if it was just 4 times. Yeah. It's really bad if it was 5.
Jim Comey calls it the crown material. Trey Gowdy, it's good to see you. Thanks very much.